I always love it when we get to have work outside. Spent a lovely day down in Marina del Rey with my good buddy, TK Bay. That kind of rhymes. We were both there to participate in a Sprint 5G event. Sprint's 5G network is firing up in Arizona and in Southern California. We were there to speak to some Sprint engineers. We also got to talk to some Nokia engineers, do a VR demo, some latency demos, see what the new cell towers were going to look like. And more than just running a network benchmark to try and get big numbers on a graph, we wanted to test this 5G with a live stream. Using my trusty LG V50, we streamed for about 40 minutes. Surprisingly, a 40-minute live stream on Twitch on a V50 over 5G only ate up about 23-24% of the battery. Not too shabby. But for those of you who want a quick and dirty recap of what we got to do, here's a cut down of that live stream. I have to apologize. I'm normally the audio nerd and microphone guy. For some reason, my wireless lavs weren't working, so what you're going to hear is the audio from the phone microphones. We were on a somewhat windy rooftop in Marina del Rey. It's not the cleanest audio, but I think you'll still be able to hear what it was that we were talking about. And this was pulled directly from the live stream, which I still think is pretty impressive considering it came from a phone's front-facing camera over 5G, and the stability of the connection was pretty sweet. Without further ado, here's TK Bay and I sharing our thoughts on Sprint's 5G rollout on 5G. Enjoy.
Oh, I think I'm actually going now.
Is that how it works?
Okay. Well, I was trying to turn the screen brightness up, and then it just sort of did stuff. I'm gonna put this phone way over here now. Hey, 6 viewers.
Hi, guys.
We're not here to talk about individual phones. Not today.
Per se, no. Okay,
well,
so
3 phones.
Okay, I'm going to put this one away.
Yeah, you're gonna hold it up.
So
no, hold it up. This is.
I want to make sure that they could see. Yeah, no. So what we have with us here, we got a chance to see a few 5G devices, but the one I have in my hands right now is the OnePlus 7 Pro 5G in all of its glory.
This blue, electric, beautiful glory.
It's amazing. One of the fastest phones on the market, now supported with really fast internet.
What's the OnePlus tagline? Something speed.
Yeah. Jinx.
Yeah, I'll buy you a Coke. We kind of buried the lead a little bit.
Yeah.
We're here to talk to Nokia and Sprint representatives. They're finally firing up for 5G.
5G, yeah.
I'm a whole generation behind.
You just jumped back like 10 years in the past.
No, they're here. They're finally firing up some 5G in Arizona and Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, obviously, which is where we were so excited.
If you've been following my podcast, you know I've been a 5G skeptic. We sat through this presentation. I've met some some wonderful people from Sprint's PR team, and then also some of their engineers.
Yeah.
To talk about the tech and the rollout. What was getting you excited about the presentation that we just had?
So the part of the presentation that I got very excited about was obviously first the fact that we're getting 5G and an actual implementation that's not just localized in a very small area. And what I mean by that is we've seen, I think other carriers have 5G in LA, but it's been localized to maybe downtown LA in certain areas specific there. But it's the fact that when I got a chance to take a look at, I think one of their diagnostic tools, I would say, and we got a chance to see
an internal Sprint app. It's not available to consumers,
and I couldn't take pictures, so otherwise I would.
I was trying to sneak one too, and they were totally onto me.
The way they were implementing it, it's a little bit different. They're not trying to go into the very short range implementation. They're actually swapping out pieces or actual radios out of their towers and replacing them with 5G and 4G capable towers.
You had 8 input-output antennas, and they were moving over to 60 on these new transmitters.
The reason behind that is because of the fact with 5G, they're able to actually run them concurrently right now.
So right now, Sprint is basically popping off one antenna assembly and replacing with these new multi-radio.
Dual band supporting. It's a 5G, 4G band supporting radio. And that's how they're initially going to go into the market with, and that's why I'm so excited. Because at that point, all they're doing is really replacing the existing hardware on towers that are already being used for Sprint service.
I don't think California is unique for this, but it is one of the biggest challenges. It's one of the biggest hurdles when you're doing infrastructure and network is zoning.
Exactly.
The notion of what we do in LA as compared to trying to put up new towers in San Francisco or in another market is phenomenally more difficult because there is a lot of bureaucracy.
There is quite a bit, actually.
Telling a community in Beverly Hills, we're just going to erect a whole bunch of towers and antennas, you're going to get a lot of consumer pushback from that. But then also, we're so spread out.
although they're capable of going at a much higher connection, much better throughput, you lose the penetration. You start having issues as some of the other carriers that maybe start.
Those other carriers who shall remain nameless.
If you've seen some of the speed tests or some of the other things that you've seen from them, where the moment they walk away or they don't have a direct line of sight, suddenly the network connection is heavily impacted.
Yeah. Actually, they were saying that I thought this was cute. The engineer was so excited that because of beamforming and how different signals can reflect off of different materials, it's like, actually, we got faster speed tests indoors because the signal was just reverberating and bouncing in the space better. And like, okay, actually, that kind of makes sense.
We saw the V50, which
we're streaming this from the V50 right now.
Just about to say, we are not only using it, we are on the network and we're streaming from it. So just understand.
This isn't over Wi-Fi or anything like that. We're outside on top of a building. There's a helicopter landing pad over there,
which I really hope they don't use in the middle of the studio.
Yeah, that would be disastrous.
I mean, I'd like to see it. It is very nice, and we also got a chance to see the I think it was the S10 5G.
Yes,
that was the other device they had in there. All three were getting really good speeds.
Obviously, the Samsung was the most inferior of the three.
You know,
I don't know. Like, no one buys Samsung. It's not even worth talking about.
It was the only one on the table, dude.
So again, being the LG nerd and talking, so I want to point it out. The Sprint PR rep, she totally knew what was up with the V50.
Yes,
she was like audio and those cameras, and she was like,
straight to the LG.
You get it, girl. You get it. But
obviously a fan of Mr.
I booted up the V50.
Yeah.
So they didn't even have it on for the demo. They were using the Samsung as the demo. V50 got the faster download.
So how fast were you able to get on?
So running them right next to each other, like side by side on a clutter table, it was 200 down for the V50 and it was like 190
That's
for
not
the Samsung.
So
I'm obviously being facetious.
And they say average speed on those.
I guess you'd be fine if you wanted to slum with some kind of Galaxy or something like that.
You'll never sell them on a Galaxy. It's like me trying to. It's like at the end when they were talking.
No, the one I'm excited about, and again, you're holding it up, is seeing OnePlus get another carrier. That's totally a big deal,
especially for. So we've seen the OnePlus 7 Pro 5G in Europe. I think we've seen it in other carrier outside of the US. During I/O, we had an opportunity to see some 5G running devices. I was actually starting to wonder, who was the carriers? But they had the actual unit here, and it was running in San Francisco. You know how much of a fan I am of OnePlus and all of their hardware, but just to have it in the US, and of course, in one of my favorite colors. We also got a chance to see a demo of, and I forgot the name of the company, the gaming company that they were talking about, but it was
Hatch.
Hatch. So,
which I'm going to the Hatch Green Chili Roasting Festival, completely unrelated to that. Has nothing to do with New Mexican food at all.
The really nice thing with Hatch there.
I can get lunch after this. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll have to do lunch right after.
Immediately after this live stream, we're out.
The big thing about this entire thing is the latency.
Yeah.
Low, ridiculously low latency.
You got a 14 millisecond?
They're like 14 millisecond on a ping test. Just try to do that right now on your phone if you have a chance. You won't get that speed. It was ridiculous.
So, okay, I'm glad you're bringing up these other talking points about 5G, because I feel we might have missed the important conversation about 5G and why I've been a skeptic on my podcast. We send out reporters, Galaxy S10 5G running a 1.8 gig download. I don't think 5G in urban areas is going to be about speed.
No.
I really think the thing that we're missing from this conversation, and it's not as sexy, it's not as cool, but network congestion seems to be the killer app for me for 5G.
It is.
There's really nothing preventing us from getting this kind of bandwidth, this kind of traffic on 4G. I was down in Culver City on T-Mobile, and I was pulling down easy 200, 220 megabit per second downloads.
I was about to say, these speeds are not uncommon.
This isn't a 4G to 5G major selling point. It's Sprint didn't have to fight the LA City Council or find extra network bandwidth, because that's a huge problem in Los Angeles, is improving the infrastructure and the backhaul.
Exactly.
It's plug and play, and now Sprint's network is going to be so much more effective at servicing the population of people on each one of the towers they already have erected. That's not as you don't have the big number. You can't make a commercial out of, that's the grown-up calm, let me sit down and tell you about how eating your vegetables is good for you. they did a demo where they had a 4K 360-degree camera
Yep.
that we were wearing VR headsets. And I would say the latency was about the same as taking a Skype call.
It's actually
There
about
was
average.
just that little split of, I know he's hearing the tail end of my question.
And I think, yeah, exactly.
But we were in almost real-time communication with someone down at the beach.
It wasn't bad enough that you couldn't have a straight conversation, but for me, I wanted to see how far that latency was. There basically is like a small HTC hub, which is what they were powering their entire.
It was kind of nice
experience
seeing those three letters on a
on.
product
I know,
for the
isn't
United
it?
States
Like
again.
we saw HTC, we saw Nokia, those two things, and then of course there was some LG phones, Samsung, it was
And a OnePlus.
And a OnePlus.
It was like all
other
that's
party-
old is new again.
What
And
other party can you say that you
Bleeding
walked in
edge.
there and everybody was having fun? No problems.
It was a
no
party!
issues. It was a party. Sexy is great, but once sexy becomes functional, that's when.
well, we've been selling this stuff on potential for way too long.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
No, but again, we walked into this demo with. Honestly, I was expecting a speed test. That's all I was expecting. I didn't expect to see.
I mean, we did get that.
We did, yeah. Sorry, we got it on 3 devices, and we're still doing speed tests.
Right.
But we also got a chance to see a little bit behind the curtain and what the plans are, what's going on, and it looks like Sprint has a lot of really good plans going on, and they're starting on the right foot. And I think that's really the main thing for me.
Just as a comparative, like cable internet in Los Angeles is somewhere around, like your top premium package would be like a 300 megabit download with a 20 meg upload if you're paying through the nose. Like the most expensive plans on Spectrum offer that. And so now, like, I think we're getting similar speeds. But I actually got lower latency doing speed tests on this rooftop. This helped. I'm still skeptical about the way that we're promoting 5G, and I think we're doing some of these technologies a disservice in the way that but Blue OnePlus with 5G is always going to be fun to talk about. But this helped calm some of the criticisms that I have. I still have some significant issues in how we're going about rolling this stuff out, and I hope that we can address those as time goes on. But this was a much better presentation and implementation of this technology than I think we've seen in the past.
Totally.
Just trying to hype 5G. This was very grounded, very practical, and as soon as they started talking about infrastructure, bandwidth congestion,
Yep.
I was like, okay, that's a much better argument. You could have sold me on this last year.
You had me
with
at the
this
network, yep.
way more exciting. So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Especially the familiar faces in the live chat here. We'll both have some separate standalone videos that you can check out on our respective channels. TKDSL
8655 on Twitter and on Instagram, but TK Bay on. It's a hard name. I need to change it.
Yeah, DSL
So just if you look up TK Bay,
You'll find
Bay
it.
on YouTube, Twitter,
TK My Bay.
Bay.
And of course, I am at SomeGadgetGuy. You can catch me on all the socials and the YouTubes and all that fun stuff. I'm going to now try and fumble the ending on this because I can never remember how to end a stream on Twitch. So
Commence the fumbling.
So enjoy the 10 to 20 seconds of my chest close up, courtesy of the selfie camera on an LG V50. And I'll catch you all on the next live stream podcast something.
See you guys.
It'd be good.